Welcome back to the Lowdown. You know, Sam Levinson said the reason grandparents and grandchildren get along so well is that they have a common enemy. And if that's the case, well then Brockport and Geneseo were mom and dad this past weekend because the men's and women's basketball teams pulled double duty as well. Let's begin last Friday with the men taking on the Golden Eagles. Game taking place at Maxiel Gymnasium, and neither team had scored for the first 4 minutes until Chad Burridge hits the fall-away, putting Oswego up 2-0 at that point. There you see the time clock. Andy Marchand, the senior, he did damage last year, and he's right back at it again this season. His only bucket of the game, however. Later on in the first half, freshman Chris Gilks with the basket. Oswego got 28 points from their bench, but it would not be enough as the Lakers committed 23 turnovers on the game. Here's one of them, and the Eagles were able to capitalize, I should say, going down to the other end for the bucket. And Brockport takes this one 52-49. The Lakers had a quick turnaround the next evening facing the Blue Knights from Geneseo. And then there you see Stan Francois and Brian Gebhardt showing off the Coaches vs. Cancer t-shirts. That fundraiser taking place Saturday evening. Geneseo got off to a quick 8-2 start. Here Mike Baker with a bounce pass to John Drazen. Baker had 6 assists to lead all people on the team, rather, for that night. In the first half, Chad Burns got things going once again for Oswego, the 15-footer. Lakers led 25-18 at the half. They led by as many as 11, but Geneseo would go on a 10-point run with 13 minutes to go. There's Mike Hoy, 3 of his game-high 18, and then Kyle Stevens, top of the key, make it rain. 12 seconds left in the game. Hayden Ward's layup puts Oswego up 65-64. All you've got to do is play some pretty solid defense. Well, Mike Chips Ahoy drives and fouls. He didn't make the basket, but 4 seconds left. He's got 2 free throws. The first one ties the game up at 65. So here's pressure, pressure, pressure. Oh no, turn the cooker off. Mike Hoy puts us Geneseo up, and they go on to win 66-65. Our own Amy Twentyman was at the game.
A pretty intense game overall for the Lakers and Geneseo Knights. I got to talk with Coach Adam Stockwell after the game, along with a few players, on their thoughts about the game.
We had a good cushion for most of the second half until the last couple of minutes, and then our defense broke down and basically cost us the game.
We got down, and I think we kind of put our heads down a little bit, seeing that we were losing. We tried to rush things a little bit instead of relaxing, running our plays. We tried to rush things, and we kind of got out of our set plays, and it kind of didn't lead us in the right way.
With the 64-63 loss against the Geneseo.
Well, we'll bring in our co-anchor, Jenna Wen, right now, women's basketball expert, and you should be because you used to play.
I did used to play, and actually I used to be a Laker. And let me tell you, Brockport was a big rival of ours in the SUNYAC, and that's who Oswego was taking on in the first conference game of the season this last Friday night. So let's go to the tape to see how they fared.
Brockport's Whitney Smith starting it off with a pull-up jumper, contributing to the Golden Eagles' 13-0 run to start the game. And on the other end, we have Rachel Kors gets it into Kayla Ryan. Nice little spin move there to lay it up and in. And this time, Tracy Bacon will get it to Kors, who pulled from the foul line, and good, cutting Oswego's deficit down. And Rachel Sinaki connects from the corner for 2 of her 10 points on the night. If you watch this, Kayla Ryan misses here. Patricia Sullivan connects on the offensive board, pulls for the tray, and it's good. She's thinking no big deal, tying the game at 53. Then Kayla Ryan once again with the left-hand lay-in, getting the Lakers their first and only lead of the game. But that's all they'll need. Brockport misses here, and time runs down on the clock. With Oswego winning the game 55-53, Kayla Ryan leads all scorers with 18 points and 9 boards.
Coming off the win from the night before, a nice crowd coming out as the Lakers faced Geneseo. Early on in the game, Rachel Kors turns the ball over as Geneseo pushes it up, gets it to Bree Dutton for the layup. 2 points for Brockport. Then Geneseo again from the top of the key, Alyssa Pulaski hits the tray. And then Tracy Bacon banks this one in at the end of the half. Oswego still down by 10 though. In the second half, we'll see more Oswego. Kayla Ryan strong drive to the left here for the layup. And then Bacon's defender passes her, leaving her wide open, and hits the long jumper. And some more Oswego with Rachel Kors connecting on the left to get her team the 32-31 lead. And some good passing here. Kors to McCready, back to Diglio for the three, and it's good. But would it be enough? Because on the other end, we have Pulaski working hard on McCready. Gets the foul. She goes to the line. Can she complete it? Yep, three-point play, and Geneseo coming back. Bacon loses the ball here, and Geneseo gets control of it. Bree Dutton once again lays it in. Geneseo only allowing Oswego 2 more points the rest of the game, with the final score being 54-46, Geneseo with the conference win.
You got to shoot the ball. We got to be confident. We got to step up. If you shoot and you miss, you just got to keep shooting. So that was our mentality, I think, and that really helped a lot. So change the momentum. So.
Yeah, it was a very frustrating game. It was I think from both sides, both teams. We couldn't get things going offensively. I don't think they necessarily could get things going offensively. Both of us had over 30 turnovers. Neither one of us shot a very good percentage. It wasn't a very pretty game. On either side of the floor. I honestly thought. Once we went up 7 there with 4 minutes or 4.5 minutes to go, I thought the tide had turned, and we had done enough to battle through the turnovers, battle through the bad shooting, and we just couldn't put the game away.
Well, we couldn't cover every Lakers sports event, unfortunately, but it's times like this when we hop behind the captain's wheel and we go around the lake. So let's take a peek. The wrestling team, they had a solid showing, 5th out of the
10 teams is what it was.
The wrestling team, they had a solid showing. They were placed 5th out of 10 teams up at the RIT Invitational. Blake Fisher and Eric Lusch registered 3rd place as they finished for Oswego State. Also, swimming and diving team competing in the Fredonia Invitational. The women finished 2nd and the men took 3rd. Jenny Van Etten led the charge. She finished 1st in the 200 individual medley and 200 backstroke for the Lakers. She also swam the first leg of the winning 800-meter freestyle relay. And we're going to take a short break. When we return, we'll take a look at our athletes of the week. My boy, Mr. Tope, gets an in-depth, no pun intended, look at the swimming and diving team. Stay tuned. Laker Lowdown will be back after the break.